By the 7th century BCE, Hebrew scribes began the systematic process of creating sacred literature for the Hebrew people. They gathered and edited oral traditions passed down for generations, along with stories borrowed and adapted from Mesopotamian mythology and older Hebrew folk legends. These materials were shaped into formal written texts. As this process unfolded, the influence of the prophetic movement became increasingly evident. Scribes infused these texts with a stronger emphasis on ethical monotheism, portraying God not merely as Israel's deity, but as a universal moral authority. By around 550 BCE, following the Babylonian Exile, Hebrew religion had become exclusively monotheistic. After the exile, Hebrew thought was influenced by two major developments. The first was an intensified focus on law. Teachers and scholars increasingly devoted themselves to interpreting, teaching, and applying the divine law to every aspect of daily life. Obedience to the law became the central expression of religious faith. The second influence came from Persian religious ideas, particularly after 539 BCE, when the Persians conquered Babylon and allowed exiled Hebrews to return home. During this period, Hebrew thinkers began to emphasize the moral dualism of the universe, associating God, the law, and justice with good, and disobedience to the covenant with evil. Some Hebrew writings also reflect Persian ideas about apocalyptic history, an end-of-time struggle between good and evil, a final judgment, and the arrival of a Messiah who would restore justice and righteous rule. The true contribution of the Hebrews to world history was not political, but religious. They created the first fully developed system of ethical monotheism, a belief not only in one God, but in a God who imposed moral demands on human behavior. Originally, Hebrew religion was a political faith, defined by loyalty to a God who protected a particular people living under specific social institutions. Over time, this belief evolved into a complete way of life, shaping law, ethics, ritual, community, and identity. Judaism was never intended to be a universal religion. It was designed for a specific people, the Jews, defined by shared heritage and covenant. Yet because Jewish law governed every aspect of daily life, it enabled Jewish communities to maintain cohesion and identity even after the disappearance of their political states. At the same time, Judaism became the foundation upon which the two most influential universal religions of the Western world, Christianity and Islam, would later develop.